Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We love to welcome you into another MUTV broadcast of Marquette Women's Volleyball. I'm Jackson Gross, joined alongside Johnny Brooker as we're getting ready for this spooky Halloween edition of Marquette Volleyball. Johnny, let's quickly recap for both of these sides. Marquette last night, tough loss 3-1 against Creighton. They get swept. They're down to the 2 seed in the Big East. What do they got to do to rebound and get a home win?
Yeah, Marquette simply has to remain their composure. The first 2 sets last night, they had a fast start and they were up, but they had the momentum and then they just lost it. So today in Providence, if they have the lead, they just need to remain their composure, stay calm, and keep that lead, and they'll win this game.
Now heading over to Providence side, they're also coming off a loss. They traveled all the way up I-94 after losing to DePaul. What they got to do to stay sharp and stay competitive in this one?
Yeah, so Providence as a whole, they've been in a slump since they entered in the Big East play. So right now they just have to come in and out McGuire, and they just play their game. Their coach, head coach Margaret Rory Johnson, she has a game plan for them. They just have to utilize that game plan, use their intangibles, and to play against Marquette.
Well, for more information and the outlook for Marquette, we wanted to send it over for the first time to our sideline reporter, Amy Galashevsky. Take it away, Amy.
It's Halloween weekend, and Marquette Volleyball is celebrating with an action-packed weekend. After falling short to Creighton last night, Marquette is looking to secure a win against the Providence Friars. Marquette faced the Friars just a few weeks ago and swept them in straight sets, which makes them 14-0 all-time against the Friars. When I spoke with Coach Tice on Thursday, he said his message to the team heading into this weekend is to take it one game at a time. So in order for Marquette to pick up a win tonight, they're going to have to move forward from last night's devastating loss and really rely on their leaders. Back to you, Jackson and Johnny.
Great job, Amy, as always. Thank you so much for that fantastic report. We're getting ready for this one to get underway. Johnny, what do you think some other big keys for Marquette going into this one?
Yeah, so in this game, like I said before, they remain their composure, they're going to be okay. But another big news for Marquette today, Hope Wirch. She's going for the record. She's going for history today in service aces. She's 1 away for tying the record. And I think today after this game, she will have that in the bag.
Yeah, it's going to be a big historic day for Hope Wirch in her 5 years now with the Golden Eagles. We'll take a look now. Some potential stats here. We look. Now taking a look at the Providence coaching staff. Not a solid record as we're taking a look at the team stats now, excuse me. Another big thing that I noticed that really pops off the screen here, Johnny, Providence 160 aces on the year so far. What does Marquette have to do to limit that part of Providence offense?
Simply defensively, they have to work together from the forwards to the middle blockers. They have to stay key, put their hands up, use their what they have to do, and just to stop the blocks, stop the service ace, and they'll be all right.
Yeah, well, and then another big one is the hitting percentage disparity. Marquette hitting 26.3, still in the top 3 in the or they lead the Big East in hitting percentage. What are they gonna have to do can do that?
Just simply, there's a saying: if it's not broke, don't fix it. So just continue what they're doing. Their percentage is up there, like you said, is top 3. Don't stop what they're doing, and yeah, they'll be all right.
All right, and for some players to look out for, we'll send it back over to Amy. Amy?
Heading into tonight, my player to watch is Marquette grad student Taylor Wolfe. Not only can she hit, but she can set too, and this versatility is what sets her apart from other players in the Big East. She's been Big East Offensive Player of the Week 3 times, and she's tallied 230 kills this season alone. When I spoke to Coach Tice on Thursday, he said that most volleyball players either focus on setting or hitting growing up, but Taylor's been able to focus on both because she's just that good. Taylor Wolfe is a powerhouse, and I believe that with her leadership, Marquette will get a victory tonight. Back to you, Jackson and Johnny.
All right. definitely a big player for Marquette, as 4 of the last 7 games for Taylor Wolfe. She just posted a triple-double, and last night, 13 kills, 19 assists, and 19 digs. How big is she on both sides of the ball for the Golden Eagles?
Yeah, so for the Golden Eagles, they go as far as Taylor takes them. So like you said, you mentioned everything that she does on both sides of the court. She has to be there. She is key to their success. If she has a bad game, Marquette, we don't know what's going to happen. But if she has a great game, Marquette has a great chance to be in contention to beat Providence this evening.
Yeah, it's going to be huge for them to rebound and stay in close contact with Creighton, because who knows, Creighton lost to St. John's and UConn earlier on in the year.
Yeah.
So Marquette's still in it for the regular season title, as by the time Thanksgiving comes around, there'll be Big East tournament time. We hosted right here at the McGuire Center. Should be an interesting tournament.
And then on any given day, anything can happen. So any team has to be ready and have to be prepared for what's going to happen.
Yeah, and it's going to be a big stretch for them after this. They have a 4-game road trip after these last few games at home. They have Seton Hall and St. John's next Friday and Saturday, and then they'll be traveling to Xavier and Butler the following Saturday, November 13th and 14th, before finishing the regular season at Georgetown, or at home against Georgetown and Villanova. What is Marquette going to have to do to keep up the momentum with 4 games in a row on the road?
Yeah, so they're all Big East matchups. That means high intensity. That means little rivalries here and there. But they just have to keep their head up, keep their focus, and know that what the task is at hand. The Big East championships, the playoffs, they're coming up real soon. If they keep their eye on the prize, Marquette Golden Eagles, they should be right there where they need to be.
Yeah, and I think the game that stands out to me the most, Johnny, is St. John's. You and I had the radio call a couple weeks ago.
Indeed.
How big is that game going to be now that it's all the way in New York?
Yeah, well, St. John's, when we broadcast that game together, they were hungry. It was a great matchup. It was close throughout. Marquette won all the sets, but St. John's, they'll remember that. It's back in Queens. Marquette, we're used to the cold weather here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but it's nothing about playing in the Queens, New York. That's in New York City. So that's a great matchup. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, St. John's is always such a tough team and a tough taste to play for the Golden Eagles and for anyone in the Big East the past couple of years. I remember back 2019, St. John's shocked Creighton in round 1 of the Big East tournament, made it to the title game, and beat Marquette to win a Big East title.
Okay.
So they can be dangerous at any time. They have a really nice team out there in Queens, New York. And how do you think, obviously the competition kind of drops off a little bit after St. John's, Xavier and Butler closer to the bottom end of the conference. And then obviously Georgetown and Villanova, same story. What is Marquette going to have to do to keep that focus of like, yeah, we're not playing Creighton or UConn. What do they have to do to keep that focus?
Well, everybody here on Providence, they either recruited or they walked on, but they're all here with a purpose. Their purpose is to come, play their hardest, do their best to win games, follow the game plan, and whatever that game plan is that their coach Johnson has for them, they have to follow through with it, and that's my take on that.
So as we take a look at Providence's side of the schedule, after this quick road trip to the Midwest, they'll head back to Providence, Rhode Island, and they'll host Butler and Xavier, and then they'll take on Villanova and Georgetown. They do not face Creighton the rest of the way, so that's pretty good for them. It's pretty good for most teams in the Big East.
I don't think anybody
Creighton
wants
again.
to play Creighton at this moment in time right now.
Yeah, they had a real dominant third set here last night. I had the call on that game as well with Nate Moore. And something me and Nate talked about is that they got Marquette out of rhythm. There were 3 or 4 times in that game where players were diving. I remember in particular, Carly Scrawbeck on the far end of the court had to race back just to get it back over the net. Taylor Wolfe nearly ran into the journalism table over there. So what does Marquette have to do to Providence to get them out of rhythm, and how are they, Marquette, going to stay in rhythm?
Yeah, so I know Marquette yesterday, after that heartbreaking loss, they're angry. I would be angry. That's a Big East rival. So they have to remain hungry, play with grit, play with tenacity, and they will stay in this game against Providence today.
Yeah, and like you said, not just a rival they have really struggled against the past few years. They have a hard time also winning in Omaha. I believe it's the first time since 2016 last year that they were able to beat Creighton in Nebraska.
Oh, wow.
Which was a huge game, but they ultimately fell in the Big East championship game. It was also hosted in Omaha, Nebraska. So that's a tough loss. So we heard from Amy earlier, but what do you think the message is heading into this game?
For Marquette?
Yes.
Well, the message is forget what happened yesterday. Today is a brand new day, a play with new intensity, a new purpose, but that purpose always stays the same, and that's to win. That should be your focus, to do whatever you have to do to win this game. And I believe that's the message Coach Tice gave to his team today.
Yeah, and switching back over to Providence, one player that caught my attention right away was Caroline Lamacchia, the junior out of Rupp. As we'll get back to her in a second, as we'll go ahead and send it over for the national anthem.
Here at the McGuire Center. Thank you for your cooperation. The Big East Conference at Marquette University encourages and promotes good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your assistance by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Any profanity, racial or ethnic comments, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are obstructable to the set of competition. Marquette University thanks you for your cooperation and enjoy tonight's game. At this time, we ask you please rise and remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem, performed tonight by the Marquette Pep Band.
Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen. It was just a few minutes away as they're starting the starting lineups for tonight's match between your Marquette Golden Eagles and the Providence Friars. I'm Jackson Gross, joined alongside Johnny Brookers. We're taking a we'll go ahead and take a quick look at two players with key X factors for tonight for both sides. I believe we saw there Hannah Vandenberg is going to be huge tonight for the Golden Eagles. She's had an up and down year. 4 of her last 5 games, 2 games she's had no errors, and then other 2 games she's hit in the negative. What is she going to have to do to stay on the positive side of the hitting percentage?
She have to play smart. Hannah Vandenberg, she has a very high Q. If she sticks to her game and plays the way she knows how to play, she'll be all right.
And we'll take a look. Key player for Providence is Shyla Rhoden, the first-year player out of Rowlett, Texas. She leads Providence with 294 kills on the year. What the kind of impact has she had already as a first-year player?
You said it right there. She's a first year. If you're a first year coming in right away, giving an impact to your team, that's impressive. Very impressive.
As we'll take a quick look at the Big East standings up to this point. Creighton and Marquette doing a quick swap here. Creighton now at number 1, Marquette at number 2. Providence all the way down at 9. Real struggle for them, 3-8 in the Big East. And honestly, this has turned into a 2-team race. UConn is at 7-4 right now heading into today's games. It's really between Marquette and Creighton at this point.
Absolutely. And in my opinion, I think, like you said, Marquette and Creighton, them neck and neck. We had a heartbreaking loss yesterday to Creighton. However, Marquette can redeem itself today against Providence.
Yeah, it's going to be a big, important bounce-back game for the Golden Eagles. They're getting their starting lineups underway. And getting back earlier to a player we were talking about on Providence, Caroline Lamacchia. She hasn't started many games this year, but she's been huge. She's played the most sets out of anyone off the bench with 88, and she's 3rd on the team with 218 digs. How important to have that, like a player like that off your bench?
Yeah. So with Caroline Lamacchia, she's from Rockville Center, New York, and from there, they're hard setters. They do their thing out there. So to keep her from stopping her from doing what she has to do, Marquette, they have to play smart. The intangibles, they have to come together to make that thing happen.
Yeah, definitely agreed there. As her coach, Margot Royer-Johnson, described Caroline as a speedy defensive player. Definitely a good player to have on your back line. Taking a look at the rest of this Friar roster. Mackenzie Taylor, huge player, defensive specialist. She leads the team in digs, 3.24 digs per set. And Johnson says she's a determined athlete who does everything she can to win. What does it mean to have a player like that in your roster who will do anything to win? So we're dealing with a few technical issues right now.
I didn't hear that.
All right. And I was saying earlier about Mackenzie Taylor, a player who's determined to do anything to win. As we're go ahead and show you the Marquette Golden Eagles starting 7 tonight here against Providence. As we're taking a look here, Claire Mosier and Hannah Vandenberg back in the lineup after sitting out last night. Hope Wirch are the other outside hitters tonight for the Golden Eagles. Retzma and Shesso out. And now the rest of the starters, Taylor Wolfe, Carson Murray, Carly Strawbeck, and Savannah Rennie in the middle. So we're getting ready for this one to get underway from the McGuire Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So wait here for the first serve. Looks like Providence will be getting the first serve, and it'll be number 3, Allison Barber, no relation to former Marquette player Allie Barber. This one's gonna get underway. 5'11" grad student. Just fires this one away. Wirch with the dig. Mosier back to Wirch. Tipped out of bounds. Pancake. And set back up. Flipped over on the free ball. Vandenberg, Mosier, Murray, and Providence just gets it back over. Wolfe, Mosier, Wirch, and out of bounds. The first point belongs to Providence.
That was a great back and forth by both teams. I like the intensity shown on both sides. But like you said, Providence gets the point.
Oh, excuse me, it was tipped off a Providence player, and it'll be point Marquette. My apologies. As Hope Wirch will look for history. She's sitting on 176 service aces on the year. One to tie the record held by Christina Norgel. And she'll send this one away. Dug out by Providence. Set up. And it's in bounds. Kill for Jennifer Letman. And this game's tied at 1.
Great kill. She hit it right through the seam on that right side of the court.
This will be number 1, Sasha Rudick, back to serve. Scrawl back over to Mosier for Wolfe. No one in the middle for Providence, and she gets the kill.
See that power and intensity as she leveled her arm back to serve that ball.
As Carly Scrawlback will be back to serve. She actually wasn't the starting libero right at the year. It was Katie Shesso, but during the Marquette Invitational, she became the starting libero, and ever since then, she's gone from 1.8 digs per set to just over 4. How big has that transition been for her to be starting?
Yeah, well, it's obviously making a difference because since she's been in the starting lineup, Marquette's been winning more and more games. And as Marquette is going throughout this season in the Big East, they need as many wins as they can to stay neck and neck with Creighton.
Not sure what's Tice is talking to Hope Wirch. As Wirch will go talk to the official. Not sure what the issue is. I believe it's a rotation issue. As we take a look at Ryan Tice, his 8th season with the Golden Eagles, record of 175 and 61, made the NCAA tournament every single year except last year with a smaller tournament field. What kind of impact has Tice had in his 8 seasons here at Marquette?
Yeah, so when Coach Tice got here, he literally transcended and transformed his program into now a national powerhouse. Like you said, he made the NCAA tournament on all his seasons except last season, and that's pretty impressive. Cause knowing how hard there's many great teams in the NCAA. So with Coach Tice stepping in, becoming the head coach 8 years ago, the way how he progressed every single season is pretty impressive.
Yeah, and obviously last year a little bit different. Everything was a little bit different. Coronavirus was very tough on all of us, but yeah, obviously much shorter season, games getting canceled due to COVID, less games overall than some of the other teams out in the NCAA, Wisconsin and Kentucky, who ended up winning the national title. They played more games and had a better shot at getting in. So definitely a struggling season for the Golden Eagles, but looking real strong here so far this year.
Them making the playoffs this year. It's a great makeup, great redemption from last season.
As we're still waiting to get underway. Not sure if it's a lineup issue or set issue. Maybe we'll get confirmation later as Tice is still talking to the official.
As they are talking, Jackson, I know you see all these costumes out here.
Yeah. Big costume contest yesterday. Some really impressive costumes. There was one with a man with a light-up pumpkin on his head. Mm-hmm. I think one man in a sparkly suit jacket, kind of looked like Elton John.
Yeah.
And then there was which ended up being the winner and rightfully deserved. It was a papier-mâché eagle on the back.
Oh, wow.
And with the head coming over her shoulder, she could control it with her arm. And so rightly deserved win for her getting that Apple Watch.
Yeah, I think if I wore my ASAP Rocky costume to the game yesterday, I think I would have took the Apple Watch home with me.
Yeah.
And I would have had 2.
I mean, that probably would have been better than my Spider-Man onesie I probably would have gone with. So, yeah.
Are you going to pull that out tomorrow?
Oh, of course. After Haunted Hoops tomorrow, of course I'm going to wear it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That should be a fun event.
I'm excited.
There's going to be an open practice tomorrow for media officials. As there's also the kids will have an opportunity to trick or treat with players on the team. Should be a fun event.
Yeah.
Coach Shaka Smart, his first season
as
head coach of your Marquette Golden Eagles men's basketball team. We're still waiting to see what the issue is here. We'll quickly talk about basketball here. What do you think what are your expectations? The Golden Eagles were finished to pick 9th in the conference. Do you agree with that? Could they finish higher? Do you think they're going to finish lower?
I think they'll be a little bit higher. The only thing was with the team this year, they're very young. We have a lot of first years coming in that Coach Smart recruited. 3 of them were committed to Texas, but because Coach Smart decided to come to Milwaukee and coach the Golden Eagles, they decided to come to Marquette. So I think how young will show up this season, but then again, they have experience. They have that transfer from Maryland who won the Big Ten Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. I think he'll be a big thing. And Justin Lewis, that's who everybody is looking forward to watch. Potential draft pick. So I think I have a slate to go about 6 in the Big East. So we'll see.
And some more impressive costumes than our monitor there. Some girl in a Patrick Star shirt with a lime green skirt. I don't know what to call it. But as the issue has seemed to be resolved, and we're going to get back to volleyball. As Carly Skrawback, her second year with Marquette after transferring from Tennessee Tech in 2019. 23 digs last night, the second highest this year. She had 26 digs in a match earlier this year.
Yeah, she went from 1.8 digs a set to 4.7 digs a set. It's a great improvement.
Yeah, big upgrade. As now the coach for Providence, Margot Royer-Johnson, she's talking with the official. I think this is still a rotation issue. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on.
I do know.
As we'll quickly go ahead, throw it back over to Amy.
Jackson and Johnny, we still aren't very sure what's going on, but all I have seen is Coach Ryan Tice getting a little bit mad. They're trying to figure out a rotation issue, it appears, on the Providence, and the referee is talking to specifically number 4 and 14. But it looks like things got figured out, so we'll head back to the game.
All right, thank you for that clarification, Amy, on that, as Skrawback serves it over. Fired but blocked as Rennie almost got it back down. They thought it was a point, and it is a point. Marquette started celebrating like they got a point. Providence kept playing, but it was a Marquette point.
I know you saw it. I wind up, Jackson, from Savannah.
Yeah, I talked about it with Nate Moore last night. It feels like whenever she hits the ball, she doesn't like the ball.
No. I would not want to be the recipient of that ball.
As Rennie soft touch on that one, and that one's out of bounds. It'll be a point for Providence. And it's 3-2 Marquette early here in set 1. As Jennifer Lightman will serve it away. Dug out by Skrawback. Mosier sets up Wolfe. Dug out by Lightman. Set up. Dug out by Wirch. Mosier for Wirch. Dug out again by Mackenzie Taylor. Vandenberg over to Skrawback. Wirch from the back line. Dug out by Barber. Taylor over the net, but blocked. Savannah Rennie with another block here early on, and that's a point for Marquette.
I know Savannah got the point, but the libero, Jennifer Retzman, she was communicating with her teammates the whole entire time. It's a great high IQ.
Very high IQ play is Taylor Wolfe with a fast serve and out of bounds, and that'll be a service ace for Taylor Wolfe. And something I noticed last night, she was doing a lot of those fastball serves. How hard is it to pick up with a ball with so much speed?
Very hard. When that ball coming at you like that, it's like, whew, you don't know what you're going to do.
It's like in baseball trying to get a fastball as Jenna Reitzma gets the kill on a fast one. Her first kill of the day. It'll be another point for Marquette.
Yep.
Yeah, she started last night but really struggled. No kills and 4 errors on 10 attempts for the first-year player out of Michigan is Taylor. Wolfe gets another service ace. It'll be 7-2 Marquette.
Marquette has all the momentum right now. They're playing like it too.
As Wolfe will serve again. She gets it over.
Rotation error.
And a rotation error on the Friars. Another point for Marquette. They're up 8-2.
Yeah. They're moving right along.
Easily the best start. They started out really well last time they played Providence, going on, I believe it was a 9-0 run to start out the match, and keeping that momentum as Vandenberg gets a shot at it, but it's sent back over by Barber. Wirch, Wolfe, Vandenberg soft touch, but it can't be dug out by Taylor, and another point for Marquette.
Jackson, you talked that earlier. You talked about a fast start, and that's what we see right now. Marquette couldn't have been in a better spot right now as they are right now.
As we get some confirmation from Amy saying that it was a rotation issue with Providence from Mike Whitliff with that information. It is dug out by Barber, sent back over by Taylor. Wirch to Wolfe to Rennie! Savannah Rennie continuing her hot stretch, and that's a 10-2 Marquette lead.
I would not want to be in a fight with Savannah Rennie.
Yeah, she has had a strong second season here with the Golden Eagles. Last week being named part of the Big East honor roll. 39 kills last week, including 19 against DePaul in that 3-2 comeback, including 3 in a row with DePaul at match point. How huge has she been this year with finally really being able to be healthy?
Yeah, so what everybody sees right now in the broadcast, Savannah Rennie's been doing that all season. That's who she is. She's strong. She's competitive. You see the hitting, the power behind every hit, every kill. That's what she does. And Marquette, they're so glad to have her back and healthy, and they plan on having her for the rest of the season.
Yeah, part of 2019, she played with a torn ACL, other medical issues she had the previous 2 years. So this is really the first 2 years of her career where she's been completely healthy, and she's looked fantastic for the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, coming back, playing healthy, that just shows her grit and determination. Because I know if I came off an injury like that, I don't know how I would come back. But seeing her play today and all season, you would never know that she was hurt. I think she came back stronger.
She came back very strong after a solid 2020 campaign with the Golden Eagles. As Taylor Wolfe will look to set again after the Providence timeout. She will fire this one away. Dug out by Providence. Barber over to the side, but blocked. But I believe it landed on Marquette's side, and it'll be a point for Providence. Number 14, Shyla Rhoden, first kill for Providence.
And for Providence, after that stoppage in play, that's how you want to come back. They came back focused, and it resulted in a score. 10-3 Marquette.
As Providence will be back to serve. Wirch with the first contact. Wolfe for Rennie! Savannah Rennie, another powerful kill, and Marquette responds right back.
Jackson, that scared me a little bit.
Yeah, I feel a little bit more protected after last time we were out here. We were on the floor, but
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Now we're on a much elevated surface.
As Taylor digs it out for Rhoden. Scrawl back. Wolfe for Wirch, but it's tipped at the line. Set up for Rhoden, soft touch. Vandenberg with the dig. Wolfe gets it. Scrawl back for Wirch. Inbounds. Hope Wirch with the kill, and it's 12-3 Marquette.
Jackson, I think when you play well, it's contagious. Savannah was scoring. Now Hope works. He said, I wanted to add into the fun.
Definitely adding in the fun so far early on, at a 12-3 lead for the Golden Eagles. As it's sent back over. Vandenberg, that looked like would have gone out, but she touched it, and it'll be a point for Providence.
That's a mistake.
Kill from number 14.
And that was a big issue last night against Creighton. There are a number of times where there's some issues. I believe Claire Mosier and Katie Shesso bumped into each other on trying to get the ball, and ended up being a point for the Blue Jays. So looking to limit those here as Rhoden gets another kill. Shyla Rhoden, 296 kills on the year now. That's 12-5 Marquette. As Taylor sends it over. Wirch for Rennie. Soft touch. Providence over to Rhoden. Dug up by Scrubbeck. Dug up by Wirch. Wolfe sends it over on the free ball. Taylor over now the other side, but out of bounds. And it'll be a point for Marquette.
Going back to your previous comment, Jackson, court awareness is very important in the sport of volleyball. Know where you are on the court, you have to know, and it's very essential to what is going on in the game.
That last attack attempt was from Brielle Mully. That went out of bounds to Shesso. Wolfe Murray! Carson Murray with her first kill of the day, and it's 14-5 Marquette.
Her teammates, the teammates love Carson Murray. Great attitude.
Our colleague Ben Schultz wrote a fantastic article about her, and they were saying how much positivity she brings to the team and how much they appreciate it. As Taylor sets up Mully, tipped at the line. Wolfe sends it over to Shesso, and Wirch will get an attempt. Taylor, and now it's sent back over again for Mully. As Wolfe for Wirch, soft touch. Got a hand on it there from Ruggles. Wolfe, Shesso, Retzma, ball handling error. She couldn't quite get over to the net, and it'll be a point for Providence.
Providence is trying to sneak right back into the game. It's at a score of 14-6.
That will be the 5'4" junior Caroline Lamacchia. Serve it away. Wirch, first contact. Wolfe for Murray, and she gets it down. Carson Murray, her second kill already, and it's 15-6 Marquette.
Now serving Claire Mosier.
And as of today, Carson Murray is 4th in the Big East in hitting percentage. Strong second season as Claire Mosier gets a service ace. And Marquette with a 10-point lead. We have a 10-point lead alert.
That's right. That's insane. What a fantastic start for Marquette.
As Mosier will send it over on her second serve. Ruggles over now for Lightman. Wolfe for Murray just gets it over. As Murray sends it back down.
That was a great
Carson Murray with another one.
Smooth touch from Murray. The late, great Stuart Scott said that was as smooth and cool as the other side of the pillow.
As there's no one over there on Providence's side.
Providence has challenged the previous call on the court. They are challenging
All right, and Providence is challenging the rule on the court. They are believing that it was that Murray had a net violation on the tip over. And we'll see what this ends up being here. First challenge of the day so far, as we may get a replay of that play in just a second. But what have you seen so far? As we'll actually take a look at the replay. Just some highlights from the first half, or first set so far. What have you seen so far?
I've seen great intensity from Marquette. Savannah Reddy, Carson Murray, and Hope Works. The big trio playing well. Taylor Wolfe right there in the mix, but the power in their heads that equivalent and equates to their kills is just insane. Great teamwork. Like I mentioned earlier, the libero, she's communicating great with her teammates. And on the other side, Providence, I think they're still in their little slump. They're playing sloppy, but after that stoppage a couple minutes ago, they came out of that and they scored. They're only down by 11 So they'll be all right. That's what I've seen so far.
Yeah, and taking a look at the quick individual stats, Carson Murray, Savannah Rennie, each tied with 3 kills. Hope Wirch not too far behind with 2. And we'll take a look at Providence.
Jackson, we have a guest behind us.
Oh, it's Iggy the Eagle. What's up, man? How you doing?
Good.
Great costume as always, Iggy.
I'm glad
Great
to see
costume
you.
as always.
That's
Always
right.
looking good.
You want to write me a note? I don't have a pen for you.
Oh, we're sorry. We're sorry.
Oh.
Looking great is good. Looking.
The Friars have 2 challenges remaining.
As the challenge was unsuccessful, and Marquette will keep the point. Now,
When I was speaking, our mascot was distracting me. Tapped me while I was talking.
as Caroline Dragani will serve it away with Marquette up by 11. Dug out by Scrawback. Dragani for Wirch. Dug out by Taylor. Ruggles for Lightman. Tapped by Wolfe. Shesso sends it high. Wirch flips it over. As Ruggles sets it up, but Shesso digs it out. Dragani for Murray, and it's a kill. Caroline Dragani with a nice assist, and Carson Murray with her 4th kill. Caroline Dragani, her first year after transferring from Portland State, and she can't get it over, and that'll be a service error.
Service error. Point Providence.
Score out of 18-7, Marquette.
That has been a real issue for the Golden Eagles this year. It's with service errors. Well, something they've gotten better, but it's still been an issue.
They still have time before the Big East playoffs to correct these mistakes.
As Barber, she commits a service error and gives the point back to the Golden Eagles.
Now serving number 8, Hope Wirch.
As looks like Megan Lund will check in for Shesso. As Marquette looks to get in some of their younger players as they're up big, as Wirch will look for number 177, not this time. Barber sends it over, dug out by Dragani. Scrawback for Wolfe, but it's dug out. Barber sends it over. Taylor just gets it over. As Dragani sets up Wolfe, soft touch. Barber with a wrong player there as Wirch gets it over. Dragani for Wolfe, blocked. And it's all blocked for Jennifer Leitman. Sasha Rudick with the block. And that will be a point for Providence.
Sasha Rudick, she leads her team in blocks with 52 for the season.
Big part of that. And Murray gets another kill. Arguably one of the best sets for Carson Murray this year. 5 kills already. And Marquette up 20-8.
They just took her out. I think she needed a little breather as they try to close out this set.
As Rennie checked in for Murray. Scrawback with a little jump float serve. Barber sets it up. No one on the other side. And that'll be a kill for number 15, Emma Fink, a senior from Western Springs, Illinois. As Lightman will be back to serve for Providence. She also employs the jump float serve. As Dragani sets up Rennie, pancaked by Fink. As there'll be a double contact from Providence, and it'll be point Marquette.
Seems like nothing can go wrong for Marquette at the moment. They
Really
lead by double digits.
Really strong set for the Golden Eagles, hitting .333% as Retzma tips it down, and it'll be a point for Marquette. And getting back, now they're hitting .353%. Only 3 attack errors for the Golden Eagles as they've limited Providence to only 5 kills. As Wolfe was on the serve and Rennie hits it down. Savannah Rennie with another kill on a strong contact, and it's 23-9 Marquette. I see you're shaking your head a little bit just at the score right now.
I'm just in awe.
As Barber sets it up, flips it. Wolfe, Rennie, nobody there. And we're already at set point. Marquette up 24-9.
As the crowd is getting into it. Standing ovation, clapping their hands. Let's see how they close out this set. They can do it right here. Taylor Wolfe with the serve.
So it's flipped over for Leitzman, Barber. Wolfe for Lund, blocked. As Wolfe sets up Lund again. Dug out by Taylor. Barber for Fink. Dug out by Skrabak. Wolfe, Lund, soft contact and blocked at the net. That's a nice, solid play as Providence gets into double digits, down 14.
Was that Emma Fink that had that block?
I believe it was.
Yeah, last season Emma struggled a little bit, but she won. She did win the most improved player in this past spring. So Providence excited to have her back for her senior year.
As Ruggles serves it away. Wolfe for Lund, blocked. Wolfe, Lund again. She gets it down and out of bounds. Rhoden can't get it, and Megan Lund ends set one. Marquette wins 25-10.
Marquette couldn't have asked for a better set one.
Real strong set for the Golden Eagles in set one, 25-10. So we take a look here. Some of the individual stats so far. Savannah Rennie leading the way with 6 kills as Marquette wins set one, 25-10. Carson Murray with 5 kills. Jenna Reitzma with 2, as well as Hope Wirch with 2. So what have you seen so far after this first set for the Golden Eagles and the Friars?
Yeah, so for the Golden Eagles, they had a fast start. They went from 0 to 100 at the very beginning of the game, and they haven't looked back. On the other side, Providence, they had a bad start, and they stayed with it. One thing they can't do, they can't trade points. If that's the case, if they do that, Marquette will just run them out the door. So on both sides, both teams, 2 completely different types of playing styles. But Marquette, they continue what they're doing at Providence. They dug themselves deep in that first set. Let's see how they come back in this second set.
Yeah, Providence is really going to need a fast start out here in set 2. Who would you say was the most impactful player in that first set for Marquette?
Carson Murray, she made a big statement. She made it hard, but I have to give it to Savannah Rennie. She had a great start, and I think, like when I said earlier, something like that is contagious, and she kept that on. Her power, her intensity, she was the real deal in this first set.
Yeah, 6 kills in that first set for Savannah Rennie. She was real solid in that first one. As we'll go ahead and throw it to Amy Galashevsky down on the sideline.
In this spirit, with the kids' costume contest and trick-or-treating, the costume contest will be between the second and the third set, but I have some festive fans here to help celebrate. Who am I here with?
Addison. I'm Peyton. I'm Lily.
Ladies, tell us what your costumes are.
I'm SpongeBob. And I'm Patrick. And I'm a farmer.
Do you think that you're going to win the costume contest?
Of course. Yeah, they will.
And then looking at the game, who do you think is going to win today, Marquette or Providence?
Marquette. Marquette.
You heard it here first. They're predicting a Marquette win. So let's move it on over back to you guys.
Oh, that's just fantastic. That's fantastic there, Amy. I got to ask, how did you get those cow ears? Those look great.
I know. Jackson, those kids made me want to run over there and join in the fun.
But hey, even though we're not in the fancy costumes, we're dressed up as broadcasters. Yeah. What a better costume is there than that?
Tonight when I go out, I might wear this suit out. I might say, I'm Stephen A. Smith.
Just don't have any bad takes like him.
No.
Set 2's just about to get underway. Hope Wirch and the Golden Eagles will serve first. She fires this one away. Dug up by Rhoden. Leitzma for Rhoden. Dug up by Skrawbeck barely as Vandenberg just flips it over. Taylor. For Fink. Mosier. Wirch, soft touch. Dug up by Fink. Taylor sends it over for Leitzma, but it's out of bounds. First point of the second set belongs to the Golden Eagles.
And I think that all started because Carly Skrawbeck, her dig that included in this play made a big difference.
And the big difference is Hope Wirch with so many career aces gets a service error there.
Hopefully she's not in her head as she's trying to get this record.
As Caroline Lamacchia will get back in. Margot Royer-Johnson, head coach of the Friars, said she is a speedy defensive player. What does it mean to have a player like that as she gets a service ace off of Wirch? And it's a 2-1 Providence lead.
But to answer your question, Jackson, when Savannah Rennie, when she hit those powerful balls, and you said to have that powerful back as number 13, to have her being as quick as she is, it's pretty impressive and it's well needed on the team.
As Skrawbeck digs out the serve, and Murray tries to get another kill, but dug out by Barber. Taylor for Leitzma. Mosier for Murray, out of bounds. And it'll be another kill for Carson Murray.
We're at the moment, both teams are going back and forth.
Back and forth. As Skrawbeck will be back to serve. Our colleague, once again, Ben Schultz, wrote an article about Skrawbeck, and she, for a while, had changed up their serve. As that point goes the way of the Friars, Emma Fink with the kill. But getting back to Skrawbeck, at one point she changed her serve to just a standing right at that back line and just hitting it, as opposed to going to the jump float, but clearly back to the jump float. As Vandenberg gets the kill.
Vandenberg she said, I want to join in the action. She said, welcome to the party. Shout out Pop Smoke.
As Taylor Wolfe now back to serve. On number 10 in her second season with the Golden Eagles. Is dug out by Providence. Leitzma dug up by Skrawbeck. Gets back over the net. Taylor, Barber, and it's blocked. And it'll be a point for the Golden Eagles. Wolfe once again back to serve. Second on the team in service aces behind Hope Wirch. Is Barber for Fink, dug up by Skrawbeck. Wolfe for Rennie, flips it over. Taylor, Fink, soft touch. Dug up by Wolfe and Vandenberg as Wirch gets it over. Barber flipped over but blocked. Savannah Rennie solo block, and that's another point for the Golden Eagles.
Say it again, Jackson.
It was a point there for Savannah Rennie on the solo block.
Yes, sir.
As Taylor Wolfe will be back to serve once more. A little fastball serve there. Almost a surface ace, but dug out by Barber. Skrawbeck, Wolfe, Rennie! Savannah Rennie, another powerful swing, and Marquette has a 3-point lead.
There's nothing you can do about that if you're the Providence Friars.
And another strong kill for Rennie. 7 already on the day as Wolfe gets it over. Leitzma, Barber, back to Leitzma, and she can't get it over the net, and it'll be a point for Marquette.
Providence has to be smarter if they want to get back into this game.
Yeah, you got to avoid the unforced errors, especially against a team like Marquette, as it's dug out by Providence. Fink blocked, but Taylor sets Fink up again. She flips it over. Wirch just able to get it as Wolfe will get it over. As Barber sets up Leitzma, and no one there for the Golden Eagles.
And that all goes back to Emma Fink. She's playing. She came out for the Friars, She's playing with a high intensity and tenacity, and it resulted in the score.
And it was a nice little just flip over kill from Jenna Lightman. But yeah, Fink definitely started it all with that earlier kill attempt. As Ruggles serves it away. Wolfe, Reitzma, blocked, but set up Ruggles for Leitzma. No one there. Wolfe did touch it, and it goes out of bounds. Another point for the Friars.
That was a soft tip by Jennifer Lightman.
Nice little flip there, and it forced Wolfe to die for it, especially with it being so close to the line. As Wolfe quickly just flips it over, faking the pass attempt, and she gets the kill.
That right there, Wolfe showed her veteran presence as she had that score.
And that's something I saw a lot of last night from Kendra Waite, the first year from Creighton. She did that a lot against the Golden Eagles. It caused a lot of problems. As Wolfe sets up Rennie, tipped at the line. Dug out for Ruggles. Lightma pancaked by Strawback, but that nearly goes into the stands, and that's a point for Providence.
Unlike the first set, the Friars, they're showing a high levels of volume. It's increasing as we go throughout this set. They are down, but you can see the difference between this set and that first set.
Yeah, they're definitely looking more confident and definitely competing better than they did in that first set. As Strawback's dig goes over the net. Ruggles over now. Dug out by Shesso. For Wirch now. Dug out by Taylor. Ruggles sets up Leitzma. She's Shesso for Reitzma. And it's tipped. Nearly gotten back over. As Ruggles will. Pancaked by Shesso. Reitzma tipped by Taylor. And no one can get it for Providence. What a rally.
That pancake from Shesho. That made the difference right there and resulted in a score for Marquette. Great play by Shesho.
Big difference, as you said, in that rally there. Just able to get her fist underneath that ball. And Savannah Rudney will serve it away. She gets it over. Ruggles sets up Rhoden. Shyla Rhoden, another kill, and she keeps Providence in this one.
Tyler Rhoden this year, she leads the team in kills. Right there will be her 295th one of the year.
And she was also named to the Big East Honor Roll last week as Wolfe sets up Murray, dug out by Ruggles. As Rhoden, and she can't get, and Shesso can't get to it. And it'll be another point for Rhoden.
2 back-to-back scores for Rhoden.
5 kills already on the day at 299 on the year. As it's sent over by Providence. Wolfe for Wirch. And it's out of bounds off the tip. It'll be a point for Marquette.
Point Marquette.
Now we have the band getting into it right now. Maybe not.
Pep band, always a huge part of college sports traditions. Absolutely. As Mosier gets it over. As Ruggles sets it up, but it's dug out by Marquette. Wolfe now dug out by Taylor. Ruggles over now for Rhoden, tipped by Wirch, but Strawback can't reach it, and that'll be out of bounds. Point Providence. As Rhoden with 3 kills already in this set.
She's the difference maker at the moment right now.
As she's hitting 261 on the year, only 89 errors on 785 attempts. Fantastic first-year player out of Rolette, Texas. As it's shot.
Net violation.
And there'll be a net violation from Providence, number 6 from the Friars. That'll be Nia Tucker with the net violation.
If Providence expects to get back into this game, they can't make those simple mistakes.
That's something I saw last night, is that Marquette, they would get a couple points, and they'd only be down 2 as she gets her redemption and gets the kill.
Rhoden, that's her again.
That was Nia Tucker there on that kill after committing the net violation. As like I was saying earlier last night between Creighton and Marquette. Marquette will get within 2 points, but then they give 2 points right back up to the Blue Jays. So that really kind of doomed them through the rest of that game. As Skrawbach sets up Vandenberg, and she gets the kill. And in Vandenberg, another strong showing, and it's a point for Marquette.
And going back to your comment, Jackson, about yesterday, in the first 2 sets, they won a total of 4 points. Those two mistakes can be a difference between winning and losing a game, or losing a set.
As the dig from Taylor gets over, Providence still trying to get over. Leitzma way out of bounds. Hits the Marquette logo, and it'll be a point for Marquette. A little bit too much sauce on that kill attempt on that one.
That's why Future made that song. I got too much sauce.
Or he's got the sauce. As Leitzma sends it over, Mosier, Skrawbach. Wolfe, soft contact, dug out by Providence. Taylor for Leitzma, dug out by Skrawbach. Mosier, Vandenberg, dug out again by Taylor. Barber, Tucker, inbounds. She just sneaks it in on the back line. It'll be another kill for the first year out of Wiley, Texas.
Rhoden, she's doing whatever it takes in this set.
As Taylor just gets it over the net. Rennie! I feel bad for that ball there, Johnny. That ball was absolutely destroyed by Savannah Rennie.
That made me jump a little bit. Rennie said, not in my house. Not today. As Taylor Wolfe is about to serve.
I think the only thing missing from that was the little finger wave on that as Wolfe flips it over. Dug out by Skrawbach. Wolfe, Reitzma. She gets the kill.
Retro said, you can do it, Rennie. I can do it too.
Another kill for the first year out of Lowell, Michigan. She's been a solid rotational piece for the Golden Eagles so far this year. As Wolfe will send it away. Barber sets up Leitzma, blocked. Vandenberg and Rennie combined for the block. And Marquette has a 5-point lead.
Right now, Marquette is slowly breaking away. Slowly but surely.
As Wolfe will go with another soft serve there. Barber over now, and Skrawbach can't handle the kill. Sasha Rudick on the kill, and it's a point for Providence. I don't know about you. When I said soft serve on that serve from Taylor Wolfe, it made me immediately want ice cream.
Jackson, tell the crowd, what's your favorite ice cream to eat?
Oh, man. I think I'm going to be a little bit – actually, you know what? My favorite is Snickerdoodle. It's the one with, like, the little chunks of, like, Snickerdoodle in them. That's my favorite.
I think after this broadcast, Jackson, we have to go to Kobe and get some of that because they serve it.
Ooh, that might be nice. What's your favorite type of ice cream?
Oh, cookies and cream. Can never go wrong.
That's a good choice there. As Hope Birch gets the kill there, and Marquette goes up 17-13. As Hannah Vandenberg back to serve. Jump float serve. A little speed on that one. Ruggles sets up Leitzma. Skrawbach can't get to it.
Kill number 4,
Jennifer Leitman, excuse me. As that'll be a point for Providence. They're down by 3, 17-14 here in the second set at the McGuire Center.
Jennifer Littman, who had that score, she was the preseason All-Big East in 2020.
As Wirtz tries to get the kill, it's blocked at the line. Wirtz again, but it's pancaked by Leitman. As Rhoden gets it over, Skrawbach, Wolfe, Reitzma, Ruggles over to Taylor, and Leitman just gets it over. Wirtz, Wolfe, Rennie, but it's dug out. Rhoden, as the ball hits the pole, and it'll be attack error, point for Marquette.
That was great teamwork throughout the back and forth for Marquette on that particular possession.
As Rennie serves one up. Dug up by Lietman. Ruggles just gets it over to Rhoden. It's blocked! Carson Murray with the block. And that'll be a timeout for Providence as Marquette inches closer to a 2-0 lead. Marquette's doing another really good job here in set 2. Take a look at some quick team stats here in the second set. Each team with 11 kills, but the big difference at Providence, 7 attack errors so far here in set 2.
That's 7 points they could have had. You see the score, 19-14. 7 of those points, they right there in the mix. I mean, Providence is there, but those attack errors, that's the difference maker, like I said earlier, between winning and losing a volleyball match.
All right. And now we're just looking back over again. Those big, even if they cut 3 or 4 of those out, this is potentially be a tie game right here.
I'm excited to see how this set goes as it concludes, because in that first set, it was clear domination for Marquette. But this second set, Providence put up 14 points right now. The first set, it wasn't like that. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen as we conclude this set after this timeout.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see what Royer Johnson had to say to her team in that timeout. It'll be Savannah Rennie, graduate student from San Diego, California. What I wouldn't give, at least during the rest of the week, to be there and enjoy the 60 and 70 degree weather.
Because this week, Jackson, this weather's been crazy horrible in Milwaukee. Oh, I would love to be in Cali in that sun, the 90-degree weather.
That'd be nice. I mean, yesterday we were outside and everyone says Chicago's the windy city, but every day this week it feels like Milwaukee should be the windy city.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm from New Jersey, which is in the East Coast, so I'm used to the cold. But yesterday, ooh.
Yeah, rain and cold as Reitzma gets it over. Taylor, Ruggles quickly flipped, dug out by Wolfe, but it can't get high enough, and that'll be a point for Providence out of the timeout.
That's what you want to do when you come out of a timeout for Providence. You want to attack right away, put a point on the board, and that's exactly what they did.
And this will be number 1. Sasa Rudick on the attempt, but it's killed down. Carson Murray, another kill on the day.
That was a great assist for Jenna Reitzma as she assisted to Carson Murray, and Carson Murray had that kill.
As Mosier, Chassot, Skrawback, Wolfe, Wirch, and Murray are in. Mosier sends one away. Lietman, Ruggles, and it's a kill for Brielle Mully.
With the kill, number 7, Brielle Mully.
Her first of the day. And she immediately checks out. Barber and Fink check in for Providence.
She did what she had to do. She came in the game, score, and now she can sit down.
As Barber now will serve it away. Setter out of Woodbury, Minnesota. As Mosier sets up Murray. Providence barely can handle it. As Mosier sets up Wolfe, blocked. Skrawback tip. Back to Wolfe. Dug out by Lietman. Barber, Fink, soft touch. Dug out by Wirch. Mosier, Wolfe, tipped at the line. Set up Taylor for Rhoden. Out of bounds. And it'll be a point for Marquette. And that's another big difference I've noticed is that these long rallies, a lot of the time, they're going the way of the Golden Eagles, and those are big momentum plays.
Absolutely, because both teams are tired during these long rallies on both sides. But the question is, who can conquer the storm?
As Wirch's attempt gets over, but the dig attempt is enough for Murray to get another kill. 22-16 Marquette.
Marquette and the stadium around is starting to smell another successful set. Oh, timeout Providence.
Yeah, second one already in the last few points. Providence came out, got that first couple points out of the timeout, but Marquette on a 3-0 run And they're up 22-16.
Yeah.
It's been a strong, much more competitive set here, but Marquette has led wire to wire here in set 2.
Absolutely. Marquette, whatever their game plan is that Coach Tice gave them, apparently it's working. As long as they stick to it. That's the question. Can they maintain that and continue to do so?
And my question to you is, what do you think they're saying right now in the Providence timeout to try and get back into this one?
Yeah, to get back into it and finish. Because it's hard to come back when you're 2-0. When it's 1-1, okay, you're in it. It's tied. But when you're down 2-0, you don't want to put yourself in that hole. And I think that's what Coach Johnson is telling her team.
As Hope Wirch will be back to serve. Once again, looking for career ace number 177. And she'll fire this one away. And it's not over! Hope Wirch tied for number 1 in Marquette history.
She is forever in the record books.
And she immediately pointed at the bench to let them know in that back corner with the career aces counter, hey, put that one on the board. As Wirch tries to get it another, not this time, as Fink gets it over. Mosier, Murray, tipped at the line. Barber, Rhoden, dug up by Mosier. Scrawback sets up Vandenberg out of bounds.
Too much power there for Vandenberg.
And it also seemed when she was jumping, she couldn't get that downward angle on the ball. She was at the right height on the jump, just the swing on that one left it a little high.
From a normal spectator's, from their vision, they just think, oh, I'm just hitting the ball over the net. But it's a lot of technicalities in your hand and how you hit the ball.
As Mosier can't handle the pass over, and that's another point for Providence. She's trying to get it over. She can only get one hand on it, and it's a point for Providence. As once again, Caroline Lamacchia serving it away. Wirch, Mosier, Vandenberg dug up by Taylor. As Murray tries to get another kill, and she does. Carson Murray having a day so far for the Golden Eagles as they're at set point for set 2.
It's getting alive in here again in the McGuire Center.
The crowd here once again on their feet as Scrawback sends it away. Barber for Fink, dug up by Mosier. Scrawback sets up Wirch. She finishes set 2. Hope Wirch with another kill on the day. And Marquette with a 2-0 lead.
Marquette's in the great spot where they want to be, up 2-0. Yesterday, let yesterday be a bygone. Today is a brand new day. They came in here up 2-0, and that's exactly where they want to be.
And that was a big set for Hope Wirch as we take a look at some of these highlights from set 2. And Providence, as we talked about, really battled here in that second set. What do they have to do to try and actually win a set here?
I think they have to play desperate because they didn't play a bad second set. They were a little bit sloppy towards the end, but if they start the way they started in the second set and play like that for the entirety of the set, I think they have a great shot and a great chance of winning this third set.
Yeah, they started out well, but with a team like Marquette, you got to go up by 5-6 points to have a shot at getting a win in the second set and then in any set.
Absolutely.
As we're looking now, it's the costume contest. We got a couple of soccer players. One dressed up as Messi in his new Paris Saint-Germain jersey. Cristiano Ronaldo, a princess, and a witch.
Who thinks the better soccer player, Messi or Ronaldo?
Man, it's tough. Both of them are so good, but...
Or who, let me ask you this, who's the greatest of all time between them two?
Man, that's like a Jordan LeBron question right there. I gotta say Messi.
Okay.
Just because even though he hasn't had the same international success playing for Team Argentina, he just holds so many records and was such a big part of Barcelona and their team for so long.
Yeah.
I got to go Messi.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever seen one of them play in person?
I've never, before I answer that, we're going to go back to Amy Galashevsky. Amy?
And Johnny, I want to look ahead a little bit to the NCAA tournament. Last year was the first year since 2010 that Marquette did not make an appearance in the NCAA tournament. When we talked to Coach Tice on Thursday, he said that this weekend specifically is important in that quest for winning an NCAA championship. He also said that players like Hope Wirch, Ellie Coons, and Katie Shesso have been on this road before, and they have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder heading into this year specifically. So my prediction is that Marquette will make the tournament this year, but I'm not very sure if they will go far. What do you think, Jackson and Johnny?
Great question there, Amy. It's tough. Marquette has been really solid. They've usually, the farthest they've ever reached, at least in recent history, was the Sweet 16 in 2018 when they lost to U of I. I got to say round of 32. I think they win that first game, but they lose that second. There are just so many good teams. And then more likely in that second round, they're going to play a ranked team. They're 0-4 against ranked teams. 2 losses to Creighton and a loss earlier in the year to Wisconsin and Kentucky.
Yeah, for me, I'll take a notch further up. I'm very optimistic. I trust in Taylor Wolfe. I trust in Savannah Rennie. I think the Sweet 16. That's just me. So we'll see what happens. I'm feeling good today. So I think the Sweet 16.
I can see that. It's just they got to prove it, and they have no more games against ranked teams the rest of the way. It's just Big East teams, and Marquette and Creighton were the only twos that were a shot at it. Creighton's been ranked all over the place. At points they were in the top 15. Last night they were ranked number 24. And Marquette throughout the entire year has been ranked 26th. They were ranked once at 25. They beat UIC and then were unranked the next week.
Yeah.
So they've been in that 26th spot pretty much the entire year.
Yeah, but when you think of the NCAA tournament, it's one and done. Any given day, if you have one bad day, it's over. So we'll see. It depends who's the best on that particular day. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we've seen in many NCAA tournaments, and at least in basketball history, some teams just get hot at the right moment. And I think if Marquette can carry some momentum into the Big East tournament, potentially win a Big East title, it'll be huge for them going in to the NCAA tournament. Obviously, if they win the Big East title, it's an automatic bid, but it will be huge to see if they can get the right momentum.
Absolutely. If Marquette could think if they go far, like the city of Milwaukee, you know how much joy that would bring? I mean, the Bucks, you saw what the Bucks did. Marquette's right in the heart of Milwaukee. That would be something special.
Yeah, Marquette sports, always a huge part of Milwaukee culture. I actually wrote a story on the Deer District during that Bucks title run for the Marquette Journal. It's a fun story to write, and just talking about how some of the players, forward Chloe Marotta and a couple of her teammates from the women's basketball team went down to the Deer District a few times. I was able to speak with Nathan Marzian, senior here at Marquette, and he wasn't able to go as often as he liked. He followed the Bucks through that entire title run. As we're back underway, Allison Barber serves it away for Providence. Wirch, Wolfe, Mosier, and Wirch gets the kill.
Right off the bat, Marquette starting off strong, 1-0.
As bench is on their feet to potentially see some Marquette history. As Wirch serves it away. Rhoden digs it out. Taylor back over to Rhoden. Tipped up by Vandenberg. Mosier, Murray, tipped up by Taylor. Rhoden flipped over by Fink. Vandenberg, Mosier, Murray! Carson Murray with 10 kills on the day, and Marquette's up 2-0.
I liked how Murray came in there flying in. I love to see the excitement on Marquette's faces right now as they start this third set.
As Royer Johnson talking with the official for a second.
So we've been talking to the officials all game.
Both sides had, especially early with that rotation error. Wirtz nearly gets the service ace, but it's dug out. And Rhoden sends one too far, and it's another point for Marquette. As Hope Wirtz will look to send another ball over the net. And she does. Dug up by Lietman. Rhoden with the kill. Wirtz can't get it, and it's a kill for Shyla Rhoden.
Love how Rhoden in there. She goes in there with a smile on her face. She scores the points, checks out, and embraces her teammates. That's a great teammate to have, Jackson.
And that's a great start for such a young player to kind of show that leadership already. As Scrawback can't get the dig off right, and Mosier and Vandenberg can't get to it, and it's 3-2 Marquette.
Going back to Rhoden, who plays for the Friars. People got to forget. People forget that she's a first year. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, really strong season both on and off the court. For her is Lamacchia with a service error, and it's a point for Marquette. Just taking a look at it, we said a big key for Providence was the service aces. They had 160 going in. Right, Marquette in the lead. 5 service aces to Providence's 3. As it's out of bounds. Point for Marquette.
Going back to what you brought up with service errors, that's Providence's game. So if Marquette is beating them at their own game, that's not good. And that's with anything.
As Scrawback gets it over. Taylor, Barber, Lietman blocked, but tipped back over. And Vandenberg can't quite get it underneath it, and it'll be a point for Providence. As Mackenzie Taylor back to serve. Roy Johnson called her a player, as we talked earlier, players determined to win anything, but as Providence gets the points there.
Let's see if the Providence Friars can tie it up.
Yeah, 5-4 Marquette lead, and Taylor getting that service ace. She fires it over, and she'll get us another service ace. And as we were talking about Providence not doing so well from the service line, they got 2 more. It's 5-5 in the score and in service aces.
In a matter of seconds, Jackson.
Man, I feel like I jinxed. I had a jinx there. As Taylor will send it on over, but sets it up for Fink first. Mosier, Scrawback, Vandenberg. Nearly blocked, but it goes out of bounds, and it'll be a point for Marquette.
Marquette regains the lead.
Marquette does regain the lead on Vandenberg's 4th kill of the day, as Taylor Wolfe will be back to serve. And she's an interesting player, not only being a graduate transfer from last couple of years as Reitzma gets the block, but Taylor Wolfe, she's a bit of a hybrid. She plays outside hitter and setter, 2nd on the team in assists. I did a story on both her and Claire Mosier, and that brings a lot of versatility as Wolfe gets the service error. What does it mean to have 2 players on your team that are covering around 400 assists each?
Oh, well, assists is all about being there for your teammates. You're setting up your teammates to succeed, basically to score. And you need scores, you need points to win games. So when you have teammates that are sharing the ball, that's all you need, and that's awesome to have on your team.
As Wolfe sets up Rennie, and there's an assist. Oh,
No,
sorry, it
Rennie
went
hit
out of bounds.
bounds.
It went out of bounds, and it'll be a point for Providence. And we're tied at 7. Providence really competitive here in the last 2
Right
sets.
there.
As Ruggles will send it away on a soft serve. Wolfe, Reitzma, out of bounds. 2 attack errors in a row, and Providence has a lead.
Yeah, what Marquette is doing right now, they're playing too aggressive right now. You have to play smart. You can play aggressive, but play smart. And that's what Marquette is not doing at the moment as the Friars take the lead at 8-7.
As the official grabs the ball.
Marquette has challenged the
And we
previous
have
round.
Ryan Tice's first challenge of the game. As they will take a look at this one to see if Reitzma's attack was in bounds. From our vantage point, it might have looked like it was out of bounds.
Absolutely.
But I think they got some better equipment down there to see the angles.
Coach Tice might have seen something, so we'll see. But like you said, from up here on our elevated surface, I think it went out of bounds.
As trying to see what they got here. Taking a look back at some stats here. Overall, Providence not hitting well. .084 with 13 attackers as opposed to 8 attackers for the Golden Eagles with 36 kills. Really strong game for the Golden Eagles as we got some really good costumes out here from these kids.
It's just a great vibe in here today, Jackson. The costumes are great. We're looking good. Both sides, their benches are having a great time as the music is playing on in the arena. Like Drake said, what a time to be alive.
As Marquette is successful on the challenge attempt. They'll have 2 for the rest of this game as Marquette gets the point right back, and it is 8-7 Golden Eagles. As redshirt sophomore Hannah Vandenberg, 6'2" outside hitter, will serve it away. Taylor, Ruggles, Leitman, blocked. Set back up as Taylor sends it over. Vandenberg, Wolfe, Rennie!
I talked about being smart and aggressive. That's exactly what Rennie did right there.
I feel like I've said that combination a lot today, Wolfe to Rennie.
Tell me, that's that tandem.
As Vandenberg sends it over on a quick serve, as Ruggles sets it up, blocked, but it's out of bounds.
Tipped off our fingertips.
It'll be a point for Providence. As Molly with the kill. As Jennifer Leitman will be back to serve once more. As Leitman gets a service. It is a service ace, and it'll be a point for Providence as we're tied at 9.
There's a little bit of confusion between Taylor Wolfe and Kate Shesho.
As Scrawback, Wolfe, Reitzma! She gets the kill as Taylor can't dig it out. It'll be a point for Marquette. Back to Leitman, dug up by Rennie. Wolfe, Murray, killed. Carson Murray with a strong showing today, and that's another point for the Golden Eagles.
It seems like all game Murray's been right there to save the day. If it's not Rennie or it's not worked, it's Murray. That's right there in the middle.
As Rennie will get a service error and check out.
That's Vanny. As she checks out, she must be in her head. She looks upset right now, just a little bit, but she'll be okay.
As Riddick gets it over for Multa Murray.
Murray again.
Carson Murray with another huge kill, and Marquette with a 3-point lead.
She must know we're talking about her.
Ears must be burning. As taking a look here, right now, season high for Carson Murray is 10 kills she had against UIC, which I believe is also a career high. Yeah, it is a career high at this point. As you take a look, yeah, Murray's already set a career high with 12. As Hope Wirtz gets the kill there, and Marquette with a 4-point lead. That'll be a timeout for Providence as a career-setting day for a couple of players. One we didn't expect, Carson Murray with 12 kills, a career high already in her young career with the Golden Eagles.
Absolutely. When you have a player that you don't expect just to shine like the way she is right now, that helps you a lot as a person. That develops your confidence as a person, and it just affects your team. And going back to what I said in the first set, when you're playing well and you see your teammates are playing well, that's contagious. And that makes you feel good, and you see that's why Marquette is up by 4 in his third set.
As we take a look here at Coach Ryan Tice, what do you think right now in this timeout? What is he saying to his team?
Simply the finish. Play smart. Don't let Providence get back in this set. I think they want to go home. They want to relax. It's a Saturday night, the day before Halloween. Let's finish strong and let's get out of here.
And on Providence side, I really think they're saying, hey, we've been competing this entire set. We got to keep going. We got to get back into this.
Yeah, absolutely.
As getting ready for set 3 to resume, Marquette looking for the sweep and get another conference home win on the year. 4-1 at home in conference play, 7-3 overall. As first year Jaden Garrison will be back to serve. First time she's checked in tonight. Defensive specialist was actually not her first position. She was actually an outside hitter as Shesso can't handle it. And it's a kill for Rhoden. Yes, and get back to Garrison for a second. She actually wasn't a defensive specialist in high school. She was an outside hitter for 4 years in high school and club volleyball. She did play 1 year as a sophomore, a few games she played as a libero, but really heading into college, this is her first time getting used to playing defensive specialist.
Come to a D1 program, you have to be prepared to adapt, to change their position. Anything could happen, and in her case, it was her position that changed.
And I wrote a story on that. When I was talking with Coach Tice about her, he said that she had a couple options. She could have gone to a D2 or D3 school or a different school in D1 and been an outside hitter as Hope Wirtz gets the kill. She could have done that, or she could have changed her game to fit and play at a higher competition, and that really spoke to him.
That shows she's not scared of the competition. She came here knowing that she would be playing behind complete studs on a team. But she knows now she has to earn her spot.
As Hope Wirtz gets the history. Hope Wirtz, career number 178 career aces.
As they're moving her up on the pole right now as we speak, her name is going up number 1 in Marquette history and service aces. Congratulations to Hope Wirtz.
A fantastic career for the graduate student.
She got that cheesy smile on her face.
I mean, that's like the perfect kind of smile, a cheesy smile.
That's right. Nothing better than that.
As Wirtz just gets it over. Taylor dug up by Vandenberg. Mosier sets up Wolfe, and it goes out of bounds off the block, and it's a point for Marquette. So we'll go ahead and Hope Wirtz gets ready for another kill, or excuse me, another serve. As Barber sets it up, as double contact by Providence, and that'll be a point for the Golden Eagles. As Wirtz will be back to send it away once more. As we're going to go ahead and throw it over to Amy Galszewski on the sideline. Go ahead, Amy.
Special moment for this team right now. As you can see on camera, Patty Bray is putting on the sticker that signifies that Hope Wirtz is Marquette's new leader in the program for career aces. She officially passed Christine Norgo, who played from 1985 to 1988. Coach Tice said that Hope is a true leader on this team, and she certainly earned this legacy tonight. I'm hoping that we'll be able to hear from Hope a little bit after the game in a post-game interview, but we'll keep you posted on that. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Amy, and that's a huge thing for Hope Wirtz to finally be the all-time career aces leader, as her teammates are all giving her high fives heading back to the timeout.
It's crazy, Jackson, because that record has been around for over 30 years, and now it's broken.
Yeah, that record was posted before you and I were ideas.
We weren't even thought of. Nope. I was floating with Jesus.
As Providence takes the timeout there.
Oh.
And it's a big thing Marquette up 20-12 now as we're focusing in on Hope Wirch. What do they got to do to finish this one out in a sweep?
Oh, they just have to continue to maintain their composure and their momentum. Right now, every time they score, they're excited, but anything can happen. They just have to, like I said earlier, play smart and use their IQ. Their IQ is high in this game. Savannah Rennie, Taylor Wolfe, Carson Murray, they know they're the leaders of this team, and they're going to lead them to victory as my prediction as they close out this third set.
That'll be a big set to close out as they'll get a breather after an intense match last night as Hope Wirch sends it away. Dug out by Lietman. Barber for Fink. Topped out by Wirch. Mosier. Vandenberg tipped at the line. Out of bounds. Point Marquette. That's Hannah Vandenberg's 6th kill of the day. Hannah Vandenberg, 6 kills on 14 attempts for 2 errors, hitting .286.
They'll give you a standing ovation for Hope Wirch as she checks out of the game.
And Samantha Neighbor checks in for the Golden Eagles. A few times she's gotten some playing time as the Golden Eagles up 9 here in set 3. As it's punched over by Fink. Mosier, Murray, dug up by Barber. Taylor, Fink, and she gets the kill. Murray can't handle the block, and it'll be a kill for Emma Fink. Take a quick look here at Samantha Neighbor, the Burlington, Wisconsin native. First-year player. Not a ton of playing time on her for her career. This is just the 19th set she plays, so she gets a dig. And it hopefully sets up a Hannah Vandenberg kill, and it does.
As Carson Murray checks out of the game. Okay, straight. I think they're smelling a victory right now.
And getting back to Samantha Neighbor for a second. Obviously a young player, not getting a ton of playing time. What do you got to do in the limited playing time that you do get?
Yeah, so if you give them playing time, if you're getting that time, not the time that you want, you have to go out there and give it 110% at all times. Because you never know if that's going to be your last time in the game as Marquette scores again. And then you never know if an injury can happen, a coach can make a switch, and you're front and center because you put the work in, you put your best foot forward, and your hard work. It pays off. So that's why you always, whenever you get the opportunity on the court, you put 110% plus in with everything that you do.
As Claire Neusmeyer checked in, redshirt sophomore, is Scrubback gets the pancake, but if this was baseball, that's a souvenir.
No. I'm surprised that kid didn't run out to Al McGuire with that volleyball.
I think there would have been some people at the front door saying, hey, you can't keep that. As it's a service error from Taylor, and we're at match point. Marquette up 10.
There we go as we close out.
As Marquette will look for the sweep and look to go 10-2 in conference play. She fires it over. Dug out. Barber for Fink. Tipped at the line. Scrubback. Wolfe. Neusmeyer blocked. Wolfe sets up Reitzma. Blocked. Tipped by Scrubback. Wolfe. Reitzma. Ball game! Jenna Reitzma gets the kill. And Marquette ends this one in a sweep, winning 25-10, 25-18, and 25-14.
What a great game played by Marquette. Yesterday never happened, Jackson. They came back, not won one set. They didn't win just 2, but all 3 sets. Congratulations to the Marquette Golden Eagles.
It's a big game for Marquette to bounce back after Creighton, and a historic one at that. Hope Wirch, what does it mean to happen in a game like this for Hope Wirch to finally break that record?
Well, it means everything. I mean, I know she's been waiting on this day as the games were going by and her numbers was going up, and now to see that it finally happened, she's excited.
So we're going to go ahead and throw it over to Amy Galashewski with a post-game interview.
We just witnessed an exciting Marquette sweep over Providence. As you can tell, the crowd is going crazy. If I had to choose a player of the game, of course, probably Hope Wirch because she made history tonight. But I also wanted to highlight Carson Murray. She had 13 kills tonight, and her positivity is truly contagious. But looking ahead to next weekend, Marquette goes on a 4-game road trip. 2 games next weekend on the East Coast, Friday night against Seton Hall, Saturday against St. John's, and those games will be more important than ever if they want to keep their spot tied for first place in the Big East standings. Back to you, Jackson and Johnny. We'll have some post-game interviews in a bit.
Great job on that outlook for the rest of the Marquette season. We talked about earlier a 4-game road trip. Let's get you quickly updated on the rest of the Big East scores and games to come for the rest of the night. UConn gets the win over Xavier, so they stay in that number 3 spot. As Seton Hall also gets the win with Iggy once again behind us. How we doing, man? How we doing?
He's in a great mood. You got to go.
I'm sure he's in a good mood. As Seton Hall gets the win over Georgetown tonight. Another solid win for Seton Hall. It's one of those teams coming up on Marquette's schedule. And the big one tonight, Creighton travel down I-94, and they will be taking on DePaul on the road. Creighton has struggled on the road. 2 of their losses coming on the road in the Big East. So it should be interesting to see what happens in that. If Creighton loses, Marquette right back in first place in the Big East.
That's right. That's what I said earlier. Any given day, anything can happen. That's why you have to play every game like it's your last game.
Yeah, you gotta play the games for them to actually count. So
every game counts, especially at this point in the season.
As the season is just winding down at this point, as we're gonna go ahead and throw it back over to Amy.
I'm here with Hope Wirch, who made history tonight. How are you feeling after this accolade?
I'm feeling good. I was kind of nervous. This banner's been behind me for a week or 2, and I just knew that if I was gonna get it aggressive, that at some point it would happen. So I was happy that it happened here at home. I was really happy about that.
And you had a whole crowd cheering you on. Your teammates seemed really excited for you. What were some of their messages?
Yeah, no, they're just super happy for me. I have great teammates. They're super supportive. I love when they come over here and everyone's cheering, putting the number up. It's just super fun, and everyone was just really happy for me.
And now that you accomplished this goal, what is one of your goals for the rest of this season?
I want to win a Big East championship. This is my 5th year, and I know we can do it. We have a lot of work to do, but that is something that I really, really, really want, and we're going to go get it. So.
Sounds good. Thank you for your time, Hope, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you.
Fantastic interview there, Amy, and you could tell the expression on Hope Wirch's face that she was really excited for to finally get this accolade and do it at home.
Absolutely. One thing that she said, we're going to get it. And she's talking about that Big East championship. I like the confidence, and I would love to see them do it. So, we'll see, Jackson.
And we're going to throw it back to Amy with an interview with Coach Tice.
Marquette Volleyball head coach Ryan Tice. Coach, you had a tough loss last night. What was the message that you told your team before today's game to help them bounce back?
2 things. One is, we're still in a race for a championship. And 2 is, that can sting people on different levels last night. And, I've done this profession for quite a while now. I think it's like year 21. And you got to learn to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get at it the next day. And I thought they did a good job of that.
And you've always told me that Hope Wirch is a huge leader on this team. And to see her make that accolade tonight, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, just really proud of her. We looked at the numbers, and she's just growing in aces as her career went on. It was just kind of fun to watch the evolution of her as a server. She's certainly one of the best ones I've ever been around.
And then looking ahead to next weekend, we have an East Coast road trip against Seton Hall and St. John's. What does your team have to do in practice this week to look forward to that?
Well, we'd like to get better at some second touch stuff, whether it's setter-hitter connection or out-of-system setting. We'd like to get a little bit cleaner there. I thought we struggled to kill it in transition last night, and we'll need to be better at that moving forward.
Thank you, Coach. Congrats on the win. Back to you.
Thanks.
Yeah, a big solid win here for the Golden Eagles, and big win is there. Looking on that 4-game road trip in the next couple of weeks, heading on to Seton Hall and St. John's, and then Xavier and Butler to finish out their road schedule Johnny, what are your overall thoughts on the match, and what do you think we'll expect to see from the Golden Eagles down the stretch?
Yeah, so for Marquette, they played a splendid game, complete domination in all 3 sets. Yes, of course, in every game there's things to work on, but it was a solid game played by the Golden Eagles. Taylor Wolfe, she showed her leadership. Savannah Rennie showed her power and tenacity. Hope Work, she got her record. Overall, as a team, Marquette, they played their game. They won. But on the other hand, Providence, they got things to work on. But still, it was a great competition, a great match, and I'm excited to what's to come in their next game.
So we're going to go ahead and throw it over to our game replays, some of the big stats from tonight's game. Just a huge, huge games we talked about earlier with losing last night to Creighton. And overall, just a solid effort.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. So now their next game for Marquette is what day, Jackson?
It is November 5th, all the way in South Orange, New Jersey,
that's why
to take on the Seton Hall Pirates.
I wanted you to say it out loud. New Jersey on the map. So we got to represent.
And they will travel up north to Queens, New York, to take on the St. John's Red Storm. And then they'll travel back to the Midwest, have a week to practice, and then we'll take on the Xavier Musketeers in Cincinnati, Ohio, before taking on the Butler Bulldogs in Indianapolis, Indiana.
On November 5th, I might fly back home and see that game.
You want to cover that for us?
Hey. They compensate us for it.
I don't know about that, but overall, fantastic game overall, and it should be interesting to see where the rest of the season goes. Thoughts from Providence sides of things as they're getting ready to go back home for a couple games.
Yeah, so since, like we said at the beginning of the broadcast, Providence has been in a slump once they entered Big East play. The next game they play, let me see it right here, the producers.
They're playing Butler.
That's
next.
right, and that's another Big East game. So we'll see what happens. They have people on their team that can produce. It's a matter of producing and playing as a team. Volleyball, as we know, it's a team sport. They have to limit those errors because there was a lot of service errors in this game where if they didn't have those errors, the game could have been different. So Providence got things to work on, but still it was a solid matchup, even though it was 3-0. Solid matchup between Marquette and Providence.
Well, that will do it, Johnny. Always great working with you. Another solid job on the broadcast today. And for all the fine people, our producer and director, Charlie Wakekiss, and our sideline reporter, Amy Galashewski, I'm Jackson Gross. You've been watching Marquette Volleyball on Marquette University's television. Once again, Marquette sweeps Providence 3-0. And also thanks to our audio, Ivy Wen, graphics, Colin Nowicki, TJ Dysart, Ava Mayers, Alex Rivera-Grant, and our MUTV manager, Andrew Amuzu. Thank you all for tuning in for another edition of Marquette Women's Volleyball. Stay safe, have fun, and have a spooky Sunday.
Take care, folks.